back with another UFC breakdown this week for UFC Qatar. We got Tsarukyan taking on Dan Hooker, co-main event. 3 rounds. Wish it was 5 rounds. Ian Gary taking on Bilal Muhammad. A lot of good fights, a lot of new faces, and of course, we got a great guest tonight. We're bringing in the big guns, 138 MMA. You've probably seen him on YouTube, whether you're watching UFC breakdowns, Contender Series breakdowns. I discovered him with the Contender Series breakdowns, and I respect a lot of what he has to offer as far as the breakdowns go. So we brought him on for the live breakdown for UFC Qatar. How we doing tonight, brother?
Great. I'm stoked. I think it's a great card. A lot of debuts, and I was kind of saying it on my video that this is kind of how you get a good vibe on who's actually doing the work, because a lot of people are just going to not know who the fighters are, and they'll only mention things that you can know by just looking at their Tapology, and that's it's going to be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. So I usually make my early picks video before I do any tape, and then I'll do my tape, and then I'll come out with like what my actual picks are. And it's a big difference after you watch the tape on this card, man. It's like, we'll talk about it when we get to the first fight of the night, but I'm excited to break this one down. We got a morning card.
Yeah.
Here in the US, which is honestly like my favorite cards, because last week's pay-per-view didn't get to go to bed till like 1 a.m. And those are the worst, man. Like I get up early now with the baby, and getting up after a pay-per-view that's a late nighter, it's just the worst, man. It's the worst. And honestly, I had to take a little bit of a nap on Saturday afternoon because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna make it. There's no way. So I did, and it turned out to be a pretty good card betting wise for me, but obviously the main event wasn't great. We don't need to recap that because it's in the past. We only think about the future here after a couple days from the pay-per-view. We'll hit the chats, and then we'll hop into the breakdown. T-Swizz, how we doing, brother? Don't fall for armored sub. It will be a TKO ground and pound. Dan doesn't have a chance in hell. Well, if it's a TKO ground and pound, what's stopping him from just grabbing the neck? I mean, I think it's probably pick your poison at that point. So we'll see. Here we go. What up, Brendan? Let's go, twin. How we doing? What up, Gangy? Gangy or Gangy? I think it's Gangy. Bringing someone from Dagestan for picks, brother. He have no grappling. Well, I don't know if there's any Dagestanis out there making picks on YouTube, but if there is, they might kill it. They might be really good, you know?
I smash in grappling, brother.
Saving my monies for 320. Dude, there's only 3 cards left in 2025, which is like kind of sad, but I'm also kind of ready for a little break. You know, I'm like the UFC schedule is brutal, man. It's week after week after week. And, you know, for us that are making videos every single week, kind of need a little break. But we do have a week off for Thanksgiving, and then we're back at it with 2 more. So
I'll be covering PFL, so I'm no break.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Emmett, the only one that thinks Spivak smokes Gaziev on the ground. Maybe, man. Maybe. I had a thought about that, but we'll get into that later. Let's hop into it with the first fight of the night. We got Marek Buyo taking on Denzel Freeman. And as we alluded to, this is one that if you watch the tape, you're going to be pretty shocked because if you just wiki cap it or just go on Tapology like I did before I made my early picks video and saw that Buyo had 6 first-round finishes. It's impressive, man. It's impressive. And there's no odds when I made my picks video. And then I look at Denzel Freeman. I watched a couple of his fights. I was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. But if they're bringing in this 6-0 guy with all first-round finishes, I feel like they might be like trying to prop him up. Like this guy might actually be good. But then you go back and watch the tape, and you're like, holy shit, this guy sucks. This guy is bad. And then you look at his opponents, like dive a little bit deeper into the guys that he's fighting, and they're basically going out there throwing the fight. Like it doesn't look like they're actually trying to do anything in there. And Buyo doesn't even look good. Doesn't even look good while he's in there basically fighting guys that are paid to lose or have a handshake agreement. Like, I'm going to go in there and finish you in the first round. So I'm very shocked that this Buyo guy is in the UFC. I don't know why they didn't make this a Contender Series fight, but the Denzel Freeman side, I was, I don't want to say surprised, but I was a little bit impressed with what he could do. You know, his last 2 fights, beat Steven Asplin, who's now in the UFC, got a contract on the Contender Series. And then also TKO'd Hugo Cunha, who's on the Contender Series last year. So those are a couple decent wins. He trains at pound for pound Muay Thai. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler, and it looks like it translates a little bit into the cage. Not like going out there just chucking people from the get-go, but he's a pretty solid wrestler, and seems like he's got decent cardio for a heavyweight as well. So Freeman comes in here as the favorite around minus 200. I think he should be a bigger favorite, honestly. Like, I was not as impressed with Bulio at all. And I just feel like the first sign of adversity that this guy sees in the octagon, he's going to take the door, because you're fighting 6 guys that are going in there to lose, and then you face a guy that's not going in there to lose. I think Freeman probably finishes him early. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, so I don't think Merrick's like bad per se, but I don't think he's super super high level. I think he's got a decent grappling game, but I do think that he's going to be in for it with Freeman, because Freeman, like you said, Greco-Roman, and so his takedowns aren't going to translate as well as, say, somebody who has like freestyle or folk style wrestling, but he does have the ability to stop jiu-jitsu style takedowns, who like to get onto the hips and try to pull somebody to the mat like that, get like the Gracie T or something like that they'll use to start pulling people down. That kind of takedown is what Merrick's going to look for, and I think Denzel's going to have the ability to keep it on the feet if he wants it on the feet, and I think Denzel's going to hit a whole lot harder. I do think he's going to have the takedown defense. I think if he wants to get on top, he can get on top, and I think if he gets on top, it's going to be a bad day for Merrick. They originally had somebody else scheduled to fight, and Freeman is stepping in on not short notice, but shorter notice, so that could be a problem. Just for the fact that like dude's an American and he's going to Qatar, which is I mean, I don't know how long of a flight that is, but it's not short, and I don't imagine Denzel's got a ton of just extra cash to go spend hanging out in Qatar for an extra couple of weeks. So he's going to have that going. So that's why, as a big favorite, I can't probably get to the line. I wish I would have caught it at the opener because he was an underdog somehow. And Freeman is the better fighter here. The only thing that keeps me away when he's from him as a big favorite is short notice going to Qatar. And that's literally it. Like somebody in the chat says, like a 20-hour flight. Yeah, that's not something that I want to mess with. Yeah, Freeman should win, but if he all of a sudden just looks uncharacteristically poor, I would say that's probably why. And I think Merrick has decent grappling, like I said. So like, but yeah, I couldn't get to Merrick either.
Yeah, I think the flight and the short notice does definitely scare me a little bit. Mm-hmm. One thing I would say that's good for him is like he's a heavyweight, so he doesn't have to cut weight.
Yep.
It's not like he's got to get there and get his weight cut dialed in. And like Bulio, like you said, he's got decent grappling. Like I guess he's a BJJ black belt. I think he's like the coach at his gym, like the head coach at his gym, which I never love, especially for a guy that's just coming into the UFC. Like if you've been in the UFC for a while and you're like, okay, I want to start my own gym, I'll be the head coach. Okay. But I'm pretty sure the dude that just fought Josh Hokett, I forget his name, isn't he like the head coach at his gym too?
Oh, what was that guy's name? Yeah. I think he is. Yeah. What's his name? Jimenez or Gimenez or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, another jiu-jitsu guy, like, and a very credentialed jiu-jitsu guy too. So like,
there it is. Dixon's got it.
Yeah. Max Jimenez. Yeah. I don't know I don't really know that like Denzel Freeman is that great, but I think he's the better striker. I think he's probably got better cardio. He's fought a lot better of competition. If he gets on top of Bulio, like I don't really foresee Bulio. Like, what is he going to armbar him from guard? Like we're talking heavyweights here, man. Like I think Freeman's good, man. I mean, I think he's good in this matchup is what I'm trying to say. Minus 195. Honestly, I don't think that's a terrible line. Obviously, the openers were great.
And if I'd seen that plus 160, I mean, it was probably that for what, a few minutes?
Yeah,
if that.
Very short amount of time, 2 minutes. I mean, even minus 160 for a couple hours is pretty solid. 5 hours.
Yeah,
Uh,
minus 160 would still probably. He's almost still playable at minus 195. I just worry. We've seen too many
yeah,
times where somebody just doesn't look good at all when they make a
right,
big fight.
right. I was gonna look at round one for Freeman or round one. I think round one or round two. I saw it earlier at like plus 110. I don't think that's bad. I mean, the
Yep.
over under is at 1.5. I do tend to lean towards the under because I just, well,
Mhm.
I just don't expect him to put up much of a fight if the going gets tough. The only thing I don't really love about Freeman is he kind of is willing to feel you out a little bit. He's not going in there like super aggressive, but they're heavyweights, so they're going to have to clash eventually. So it's Freeman for me. I still
Yeah.
think there's value on him at minus 195. I haven't played him yet, so please nobody play it for big money and move the line. But
Yeah, if this was in like Vegas or something, I would be hammering the Freeman line.
yeah, no, this is it honestly, like, why the fuck? Why is Booyo in the UFC, man? You know?
I actually talked to somebody briefly that knows him a little bit. Like they run in the same kind of circles over in that like Polish regional MMA scene, right?
Yeah.
And he essentially said that the UFC reached out to a handful of gyms in Poland because of the like Joanna Jędrzejczyk connection, because she's managing fighters now.
Yeah.
So it's basically because of her. There's going to be more Polish fighters like debuting soon. Like they're trying to like she's trying to be the next like big MMA manager from that region. So essentially, it's because of her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they have brought in a good amount of Polish guys, and they've been pretty good, honestly. But
Yeah,
I don't know that I could say the same about this
I
guy.
don't think this one's it.
No. All right, moving on. We got Nurulo Aliyev taking on Shamrock. Aliyev coming in here 2-0 in the UFC, 10-0 in his career. Shamrock making his UFC debut. He's a plus 235 dog. Aliyev comes back at minus 275. Shamrock training partner of Paddy Pimblett, but I believe he's Irish, definitely by the name. And I think Shamrock's is decent, man. He's 32. I think he's kind of in his prime. This is a young Nurulo Aliyev, so he could be making some big improvements from fight to fight. I think his last fight was the beginning of the year, the first card of the year in January, where he won 29-28, won the first 2 rounds. And it looked to me like in round 3, he knew he won the first 2. So he was maybe trying to like work on his striking, because he could have easily just taken him down and sat in Joe Selecki's guard if he wanted to. But it looked like he was trying to work on his striking. And what happened was not good. Like, he did not do very well in the striking against Joe Selecki, and actually got like mounted at the end of the round. But it didn't really matter because he was up 2-0. Coming into this one, man, I'm not really a believer of Aliyev. Like, he looks exactly like Habib, and he fights similarly to Habib, but he's not anywhere near Habib. Like, he's not really that good at all. I think his wrestling is okay. I think his top control is solid. His striking is okay. But like a win over Joe Selecki, who's pulling guard and beating you in the 3rd round, a win over Rafael Alves, who's pulling guillotine every time you shoot a takedown on him, and then his Contender Series win, where I think he went 1 for 6 on takedowns in round 1. So he got 5 takedowns stuffed against an absolute journeyman of a fighter.
Yeah, Josh Wick's tough, man.
He's tough, but like, he's not anything good. I mean, I guess he's just tough, but he's still got TKO'd
Definitely
around.
tough.
I just not big on Aliyev here. I think Shamrock is alive as a dog here at plus 235. I think he's the better striker. I trust him to scramble on the ground. Like, if he gets taken down, I trust him to scramble. If he gets to the back of Aliyev, fight could be over, or at least Aliyev could be in danger. It could be the round if he can keep the back. So I'm tending to lean towards the dog here in Shamrock. What do you think?
So there's something that Shamrock, Joe Selecki, and Rafael Alves all have in common, and that's that they're willing to grapple. Shamrock is definitely more of a grappler than a striker. He can strike, and he's going to be the better striker here. Don't get me wrong. Unless Aliyev has leveled up a ton in his striking, which young, but I don't think he's leveled up that much in that short of time. He's going to be a better striker, but I think if Aliev can survive on the ground against a guy like Selecki, who I think is a better grappler and not making a UFC debut, I think Aliev can do the same thing to Shamrock here. I think he holds him down and smothers him, wins it at least 29-28. I think he's smart enough to know not to strike, at least not until he's already banked a couple of rounds. Take the sting off the punches. By the time you're tired, you've already fought off takedowns for a while. Your arms are getting fatigued. Your body's, fatigued. You're breathing heavy. At that point, the knockout punches aren't really there as much, especially like the lower down the weight classes you go. I mean, up at like light heavyweight and heavyweight, you never know. But I think Ali is just gonna blanket him, and I think that's what we're gonna get here. And he's probably gonna take a decision, and I feel pretty good about it. It's Shamrock's good, but this is a hard matchup for him stylistically. I think Ali is just gonna be able to smother this guy. And even though Shamrock is probably the one that's live for a finish, if you're betting the Shamrock side, I think you got to go like decision, no action type of thing. Because if it goes to decision, Elio's laid on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I just don't know. Like, if this fight was in any other place than like the Middle East, I would think maybe Shamrock could win like a damage-based decision. He doesn't do that much damage, though. That's my problem.
Yeah. I don't think Shamrock's really doing a ton on him.
He's not. Like, what I wanted to see going into the tape was like him inflicting damage in the grappling, but he is a grappler. That's what he is. And a good grappler. But I think he's kind of he's a more dangerous grappler is what I'm trying to say. Like, Aliev is going to take you down and lay in your guard. So honestly, if you like the Aliev said, why wouldn't you just play the minus or the over 2.5?
Easy. Yeah, that's the play.
Yeah. I mean, he probably wins the decision, but I'd probably just rather play the over 2.5. The Aliev decision, I guess, is near even money, or at least it was. Now it's minus 130. Damn.
You might as well just play the over 2.5 at that point. It's not much different.
Or the fight goes at minus.
Yeah, fight goes.
I just think at plus 235 on Shamrock, like I think there's value because, what does a Aliev win look like? It's probably take down and smother you in the guard. And I guess if he does that, like, sure, I guess I'll lose my plus 235. But I do think it could play out pretty close if it goes to decision. I think all the finishing upside is on Shamrock's side. So that's why I think there's some value on Shamrock. I wouldn't play it for big money at all. I'd probably go like half unit shot, if that. But Shamrock's sub is plus 500. He's got a very fast back take.
He does.
I just feel like Aliev will probably get out of it. And at plus 500, they're saying that's his best path to victory. So,
yeah, I don't foresee Aliev tapping unless he's. I mean, he's got to be dead to rights. Like, it can't be. He's not going to tap because he's like scared or anything. Like, he's not going to tap because it sucks. He's only going to tap if it's like, I'm done. Like, I'm dead here.
Yeah, and one thing I was looking for on Shamrock tape was like to have really good cardio. He does tend to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of value on his money line, but it's probably going to be an Aliev decision.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Like, probably 8 out of 10 times, Aliev just lays on him for 2 out of 3 rounds and we get a decision. There's maybe 2 times in there I could see Shamrock pulling something off, but even then, like maybe 2 times might even be too much. 1 in 10, maybe. Yeah,
I'd probably say maybe 3.
Ugh, that's getting too much for me. I don't think he does. I think he needs a sub. I don't think he's going to TKO Aliev, and because I just don't think he's going to get enough strikes off for that. He doesn't really fight like that. And like, man, Aliev's not tapping unless you really like. You're going to have to really put it on him. Like, you're going to have to put it to where he falls asleep, or like you're going to break his arm or something. Like, he won't tap.
Alves had a nasty guillotine on him,
and he didn't tap.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised he didn't tap. And Alves has a good guillotine, so.
Yeah, like I said, you got to put him out, or he's not going to tap.
I'm going to go hit up at the mall. They're saying Malcolm Wellmaker's selling jeans at American Eagle. Crazy.
So that's the thing. Anybody that didn't know who Ethan Ewing was thinks that Malcolm Wellmaker's a bum. I was trying to warn people. So they announced it on Thursday. Me and Couch Warrior did our panel show that same day. Dude, Ewing's good. He's legitimately good. We tried to tell Couch bet it. I was too much of a chicken to bet it with it for a dude taking it on 48 hours notice and having to fly across the United States. But
Same here.
either way, dude, Ewing's going to be a problem for a lot of guys. He's got a head like cement. It's about the size of like a semi truck. He hits like a semi truck. He knocked out Billy Brand in the first round, took Peyton Talbot till the third round. I mean, it took Cody Haddon to decision, like for Billy Brand, that is. But Ethan Ewing goes in there and just knocks the dude out in the first round like it's nothing. Like Ethan Ewing's a good fighter. Wellmaker will be fine. That was just a tough fight. 48 hours notice for both guys.
And yeah, that was just like a clear indicator of like, okay, you've never watched a single fight of Ethan Ewing. Like to be like Malcolm Wellmaker's gonna win this easily. Like when I saw he got a new opponent, I was like, all right, Wellmaker's probably gonna be like a minus 1,000. Who are they gonna bring in here that's like gonna give him a fight on 48 hours notice? And then I saw the line and it was like minus 400. And I'm like, all right, this is interesting. So then I go watch some tape on him. I'm like, you know what? Ethan Ewing's fucking good, dude. Like he's good. But then, like you said, 48 hours notice. I'm like, I actually bet the fight to complete one round, which was like minus 120. So I'm like, the dude's never been knocked out. He's got a huge head. And I don't really think Wellmaker's going to be like ready for his style. Like it's a completely different style. So he's probably like those short notice fights, if they're decently matched up, a lot of those do tend to go to decision because they're just kind of like going in there. It's almost like a sparring match, but it's like 100%. Like you don't know who these guys are. You don't have to
Especially if they give you the extra weight and you don't have to cut as much because then.
Yeah. And it was at 145. So I'm like, all right, he doesn't have to kill himself to make weight. Like I think he'll be all right here. I bitched out though. I thought Ewing had a lot of value, but I didn't want to pull the trigger because I had a bunch of other bets on the card. I'm like, I'll just pass on this one from a
same. I had 12 of the 14 fights bet already. I figured I was like, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah. Those are ones that haunt you though. You're like,
yeah, seriously.
That was a beautiful play.
Yeah, Couch hit it for a quarter unit, and I was like, dude, well played, because that's ballsy. No, not many people were doing that.
No. All right, moving on. We got Ismail Nardiev taking on Ryan Loder. Ryan Loder coming in off the loss to Azamat Bakoyev. Nardiev coming off the loss to Jun Young Park. I'm gonna kick this one to you first because I think I went first for the first two. What you got?
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to take this one away first because I love this fight for Ryan Loder. I think he's going to break Nardiev. I think it's going to be pretty apparent pretty quick that once Nardiev's success at range gets closed, like once he's no longer at like distant striking and Loder's up in his face, Nardiev hates pressure. Nardiev breaks. His cardio is bad. His decision making is bad. He's really good if you give him all the space in the world to work, or if he's the better wrestler. He's not the better wrestler here, that's for sure. He's not going to be the bigger guy here, and he's going to need that distance, and Ryan Loder's not going to give him that distance. Nardiev also doesn't hit as hard as Bekoev. Bekoev hits really hard, even though he also lost in his last fight. That's whatever. I mean, Belgary's a strong kickboxer, so it's fine. Nardiev's not that. He's a smaller guy, bad gas tank, bad decision making. Ryan Loder has the exact style to beat him. I've got Ryan Loder bet already, as well as inside the distance and KO. So I'm all over the Loder side.
Yeah, I would be worried for Nardiev if he gets taken down and gets put in that crucifix because that seems like that's Loder's weapon. But I don't know that he's going to get him down right away. Like Nardiev's usually pretty good for round one, then starts to slow down a little bit. And Loder, I'm just not very high on Loder. Like he's 34, I believe. And he's had what, 9 fights. I just don't really think he's that good, man. I think Loder's wrestling is a bit overblown, but it might still be good enough to take down Nardiev. Like nothing that Nardiev has done really sticks off the board to me. It's kind of crazy. He's been to all of his UFC fights, 6 of them, all decisions. But then, like when he went back to the regional scene, he was like kill or be killed. Like, what is this guy on where he's in the UFC? He's not getting finished and he's not finishing anybody. So I'm like, I don't understand it, but he does tend to flake, or at least we've seen him flake on the regionals, losing to guys he should not be losing it to if you're in the UFC, or at least if you're going to come back to the UFC. So this was a pass for me. I picked Nardiev just because he's the younger guy, more UFC experience. I think he's the better striker. I don't think Loader has much to offer on the feet outside of a body kick and maybe a head kick if he can get it up there. But if he does get the takedown and gets to a dominant position, he's the far better grappler. So I can understand that. Maybe if Loader, it's at
Nardiev tried to cheat his backside off trying to beat Jun Young Park, and he still got wrecked. So I mean, if that's not going to work for him, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, Loader's plus 120. So I mean, if he grows to like a plus 130, plus 140, I might pull the trigger because I do tend to think it's closer to a 50-50. I maybe make Nardiev minus 120, like a very slight favorite, just being the better striker, more UFC experience, younger guy. But if Loader can get his spots, he could make it look easy.
Are we betting the point deduction? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. The point deduction, that Dixon's got a point there. Nardiev's a dirty fighter, especially when he starts losing. So I could definitely see him just getting nervous and pulling some stuff.
Don't get how he won tough 32. That was a rough
finish Valentine.
Yeah, that was a rough season, man. There was not a lot of talent going on there. Are we betting the point deduction plus 2,000?
Yeah.
I remember the only time I've ever bet it was Leon Edwards versus Kamaru in the rematch. And Leon held onto the cage, got a point deducted. I was like, all right. I thought it was going to be an eye poke because Leon Edwards scissor hands. But I actually don't mind an over bet here.
It could go.
Considering like Nardiev's never not been to decision.
Yeah. Man, he seems like he breaks easier and easier these days.
Yeah.
And a guy like Loader, if he's on top, is just going to unload, I guess, for the
yeah, you said Loader KO is plus 550. That's a big number.
Yeah, plus 672 on Cloudbet. 670. At least it was a little bit ago.
Yeah, I don't know if they have it on Fight Odds just yet.
They should have. It should be like the third to last one from the right.
Oh,
it's my sponsor, so that's why I know this. There you go, 672. Look at
that. Yeah. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of impressed with the grappling sequences he had with Valentine too. He got put in some bad spots and looked like he was doing all the right things. So should be interesting, but I think it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I could see him getting knocked out or something, but like short of that, I feel like Loader wins the minutes.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Bantamweight bout here. We got Beksat Almakhan taking on Alexandre Topuria. Big bro Topuria coming in here off the win to Colby Thickenese in his UFC debut. Beksat comes in here off the big KO against Brad Katona. He's now 1-1 in the UFC. Only lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. This line's been jumping around quite a bit. I got to see what it's at right now. We got Alexandre Topuria minus 114 and minus 106 for Beksat Almakhan. So it's been going back and forth. And I'm kind of leaning towards if you give me plus money on Almakhan, I might have to take a shot, man, because we don't really know much about Topuria. And I don't really see anything outside of his last name that would make me believe he should be a favorite against Almakhan. Almakhan is a good fighter, man. He's a really good fighter. Very impressed with some of the grappling scenarios he had with Umar. Did get finished by Umar on a very short notice fight, and he dropped him. And that was kind of like the whole narrative going into the Katona fight. And that was why I didn't really I didn't want to fall in love with a lost performance, And then he goes out there and nukes Katona. I'm like, holy shit. So it's impressive. And there's not a lot of tape on Almakhan in the UFC, obviously, outside of the Umar fight, because the Katona fight lasted 1 minute. But I look at this one. I think Almakhan's striking is going to be challenging for Topuria, who's kind of a guy that needs to stand in front of you and slip shots and then return and kind of fill you out. But Almakhan's constantly in and out. I think he's going to be a lot faster. He definitely hits hard. I think his grappling is solid. His takedown defense is solid. I think his offensive takedowns are solid. So if you give me plus money on Almakhan, I might take a shot. But if it doesn't get there, I'll probably just pass. But I think Topuria is good. We just don't really know much about this dude. So that's why I got to go with Almacan here. What do you think?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get Almacan at plus money last week sometime. So that I got a little bit on him. If the line swings far enough in his favor, I'll just hedge off and take free money because obviously free money is better than having to work for it. So I'll take that. But if not, I'll ride out with the Almacan side. I do think he's probably the side here as far as overall skills go. I think Topuria is good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see him. I don't see him. He's up. I hate to make this comparison, like you always have like the better and the worse brother, but they've kind of alluded to this. There was a reason that Ilya was the one that continued on his career, and Alessandre decided, "Hey, I'm gonna devote my time to making my brother better." They would have done it the opposite way if Alex had the potential. So that's why they did that, right? They've even said this in like interviews and all this stuff, right? So it's not like I'm being crazy to say that. I do think Almacan is a darn good fighter. Like I think he's very good. And losing to Umar, there's no shame in that. Most people lose to Umar, to be fair. Everybody but Merab. So no big deal there. He did nuke Katona, which is pretty impressive. And like I said, I think Topuria is good. I just think this is a really, really hard matchup for him. Just because I think Almacan has all of the things that Topuria has, only just a little bit more violent. So yeah, I'm on the Almacan side, but like I said, if the line gets big enough on the other side, I'll just get the free money.
Take it. T-Swiss says Topuria by Murda. Anytime I see that name, my houses are on the line, bro.
Well,
if it was Ilya,
then if it was Ilya for sure.
Like if this is Alexandre Silva or something, like he's not a favorite over Almacan,
Right.
Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the guy has had one fight in the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I think
before that, he was taking so much time off because he pretty much devoted his time to helping Ilya.
Yeah. And I guess, maybe he's gotten a lot better over those years, but I would like to see it first,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, 138. I'm telling you right now, this fight ends in split decision, and it's going to be Topuria by robbery.
I don't doubt it.
Be in his corner, takes end split, and Topuria split easy money. I don't know if a split decision is going to be easy money, brother, Dix Insider, but I wouldn't doubt it. Like 138 said, I actually think this could be. I don't want to say like a boring fight, but I think it could be like a chess match, on the feet. Neither guy really is like in your face, like pushing to force the action. I kind of expected Topuria to go in there and I don't want to say beat the brakes off of Colby Thickness, but like get in his face and like make him uncomfortable. But Colby Thickness was just kind of like dancing around, throwing kicks, and Topuria wasn't really doing much. So I think it could be a similar situation here. They got the fight to go the distance at plus 160, which is kind of tempting, for a bantamweight fight. Both guys do carry a good amount of power, but I think it could be a chess match where both guys are going to respect what's coming back at them. And I don't really see like a finish on the ground. I don't really see a submission. So it'd probably have to be some type of big KO. I actually don't mind that. The over 1.5 set. Yeah, they got it at 1.5 minus 200.
They have it at 1.5. Interesting.
Yeah. For a bantamweight fight, man.
I don't mind an over there.
Yeah, fight over 1.5 minus 200. Fight goes at plus 160 is tempting. I mean, if you're going a decision with Colby Thickness, man, like if you're not going in there and just putting it on Colby Thickness, like look what Musasa did to Colby Thickness on the feet. Colby's not a good striker. He's a solid grappler, but he's not a good striker.
Durable as heck, though. I'll give him that. Dude can take a punch.
He's tough, yeah. But that's a bad thing to have.
Long term.
He's great at taking a punch. It means he just gets fucking hit hard. But he is tough.
I actually bet him against Topuria when he made his debut, thinking that Topuria was going to get tired of punching him in the head and then he was going to get subbed, but it didn't happen.
Maybe that's why he didn't. Maybe he was worried about getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
I love the over 1.5 here. The duo we always needed. Shout out Premium Picks 101. Appreciate you, brother. Managed to grab Bex out at plus 130. Line open at plus 170. Nice. It's a great line. It's a great line. I wish I got that line. That'd be sick. And hopefully it gets there. Hopefully, by Friday, everyone sees Topuria and then just throw a bunch of money on him. We can get a nice line on Almacan.
Yeah.
All right, we got Yakyayev taking on Cerquera. We could probably skip this one. I'm joking. Cerquera 0-3 and never had a winning round, I don't believe. And Yakyayev is 7-0 with all first round finishes except for one decision victory against a pretty good opponent. So Yakyayev is the biggest favorite on the card, minus 1,400. 1,800. Minus 1,800 now. Wow. And he should probably get it done round one. What do you think?
Yeah, kind of the same. And it's not even so much that it's a pick for Yakyayev to win. It's more just like it's Cerquera, and he's not good. He's a fraudulent fighter. And I don't say that lightly because I often don't consider fighters to be fraudulent. But Cerquera is out of that same management that before they go on the Contender Series, they take all their fights off the internet and do everything they can to make those not visible because they're phony fights or their fights against people that have fought once and then never fought again because they're not actually fighters. Like Cerquera, almost all of his wins. I'm sure there might be one of them in there that was against a real fighter, but a bunch of them are just against not fighters that they're like, hey, do you want to take this fight? Like, we'll pay you, $500. And they're like, $500? Yeah, let's go. And then they go in there and lose to a guy that's not a good fighter, but he's at least an athletic guy that's done some training in the past. I don't think Cerquera's, I think he's not at all this level. I think he would have a hard time in LFA. I think he would have a hard time in like Cage Warriors. I think he'd have a hard time in Fury. I think this guy loses a lot of fights in those promotions. So yeah, Yakyayev should steamroll him.
Yeah. I the worst thing I've ever done in my betting career was bet on Rafael Cerquera. Not once, but actually twice.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah. It was bad, man. It was bad. It was the first one was kind of a fade on Ebo, and then the second one was I guess I just kind of thought like he didn't get to show anything against Ebo, and I don't really believe in Bukauskas. So I bet him against Bukauskas, and both times he got KO'd in round one, like badly. So not doing it again here. I think Yakyayev gets it done round one, which is at chalk. So it's not really like there's going to be a ton of value on that. Minus 165. Actually, that's for the KO. Minus 170 for the round one. You kind of got to pick that. You got to pick between KO or sub, and I don't know. Like, I really don't know because Yakyayev could club and sub. He could go for the takedown, get the back done. One thing I will say is like Cerquera's a BJJ black belt, I guess.
Supposedly,
but he didn't really look like one against Julius Walker, but he did survive on the ground. So
who gave this guy black belt?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know, man. We should just move on from that. Alex Perez taking on Asu Almabayev. Alex Perez coming off a brutal knee injury against Tatsuro Taira a little over a year and 3 months ago, about a year and a half ago. And Almabayev comes in here off the win to Jose Ochoa earlier this year. Almabayev comes in as about a minus 200 favorite, and Alex Perez comes back at plus 180. I think Almabayev should be able to get takedowns here. I know I looked at his UFC stats, takedown defense, and it was like 80%, which is pretty good, man. It's pretty good. He stuffed a lot of Makayev's takedowns. That was the classic Makayev, like the fight. After the fight, he like posted the picture of his toilet of like his shit. You remember that? he had the shits before the fight, so he like took a picture of it and then posted.
What a weird thing.
Yeah, he posted it after the fight to be like, "This is why I didn't finish him. This is why I had bad performance." He went like 3 for 17 on takedown attempts, which was a bad look. And honestly, I thought there was a good argument that Perez could have won that, but he's 33 now, coming off a knee injury, which has always been like he's had a ton of injuries. He actually had a fight a few months ago, I think, that he had to pull out of. He's always pulling out of fights. I think Amobayev gets it done. Chain wrestling is pretty dang good. My worry for him is like, if he gets a takedown, he's fucked. Like he cannot outstrike Alex Perez, but he's been able to get takedowns in most of his fights, and I think he should probably be able to get takedowns here against a guy that's coming off a knee injury. So Amobayev for me. I think if he gets to the back, he could maybe submit him, but it's probably a decision. What do you think?
Yeah, so I admit there's probably value on Perez just because I think like if you took the guy skill for skill and he wasn't injured, he would be the better fighter. He's definitely the better striker. There is no doubt about that. And he's a darn good wrestler. But like when you look at a fighter that's fought through injuries in the UFC, I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's had more of them than Alex Perez. Yeah. And I believe it was his ACL the last time. I mean, man, like you can't just keep having this stuff go on and then like win fights, you know? He's good. He's got all the skill in the world. Like he's having competitive fights, at least at one point, with some of the best fighters in the world. Man, like there's just so many things. And it's going to be one of those things where like after the fight, you're going to be like, oh, you know, why did Alex Perez not do what I thought he was going to do? And he's going to say, oh, well, my ACL was blown out before, and then I re-aggravated it in training camp, and I couldn't defend takedowns or something like that. And it's like, dude. So like, I can't bet on Asu either, though, because if Perez shows up in his best form, which I don't think he will, but if he does, I mean, he should beat the heck out of Asu. But yeah, I think Asu is going to be able to get takedowns because I think Perez is not going to have the stability in the legs. I think he's going to get taken down, and I think it's probably going to be a decision for Asu. But I'm going to be staying so far away from a betting side on this. If you're like playing like DFS and stuff, like you kind of got to throw Perez in a couple of lineups. But other than that, like I want nothing to do with this fight at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of nuts. He came back off of like 2 years off from getting Pantoja, from losing to Pantoja, and then fought like 3 times in the span of 3 months, and then got the injury, and now he's been off for another year and almost a year and a half. Yeah, I don't think I would play Amobayev at minus 210. I would maybe play fight goes the distance.
I can see that.
Minus 150. My worry is like Perez's submission defense is not great. It's not great. Like I know he's getting submitted by Pantoja and Figueiredo, but
you put it that way.
Yeah, but I did go against Amobayev his last fight because I said like, dude, if you can't submit Jose Johnson on the ground, you ain't gonna fucking submit Jose Ochoa. And if it goes to decision, I think Ochoa could do more damage. And Ochoa actually had him in a couple submission attempts, which was interesting. So yeah, I think it's probably just a layoff, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely How do you back Perez knowing all of those injuries?
You can't.
You're
taking a leap on his health, and that has proven to be a losing game.
In recent memory, he's won 1 fight in his last 5. So
yeah,
and exactly. Tough competition, but like still.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Nicholas Dalby taking on Saigid Isagakmaev. Saigid coming in here making his UFC debut against the 41-year-old Nicholas Dalby. Dalby coming off the KO loss to Randy Brown. First time in his career he gets slumped and he gets put out cold on his face. Saigid hasn't fought for almost 3 years. His last fight was in one championship. He is part of the Team Habib camp. I believe he was training with them in the lead up for Islam's fight last week. So that's good for him. What do you think about this one? Right now we got Isagakmaev as a minus 300 favorite. What do you think? Yeah,
so this is interesting because Dalby's a really tough debut. Like no matter who you are, Dalby's a tough debut. The dude is he fights at a high pace. He's tough. He's usually super durable. Cardio for days. Like he doesn't have anywhere that he's like poor at. He's pretty good everywhere. But then you look at Isagakmaev and you're like, well, you haven't seen him in 3 years, first off. But the version of him 3 years ago was really skilled. People look at the loss to Carlston Harris and they look at it with the wrong lens. I think they're like, oh, Carlston Harris hasn't looked that great recently. Yeah, that's a Carlson Harris that's at the end of his career. The guy's getting up there in age. But when Carlson Harris came into the UFC, the guy was good, and that was a competitive fight. And guess what? He caught Isaac Akhmaev with his patented anaconda choke, the thing that he wins most fights with. So it happens, right? Dude's got 2 losses in the career, and that's it. And he's looked very good. He's really clean in the striking. I think Dalby can make it ugly in the striking and actually probably have some success there. But Isaac Akhmaev is the cleaner striker. He's really technical. But like, it's a debut. So debuts, sometimes people underperform. Big favorite on Isaac Akhmaev. That said, I think he wins. I think he wins more often than not. Man, do you want to lay -3 something against Nick Dalby in your debut? Like, it's another pass. But realistically, it's mostly just because it's a debut and we haven't seen the guy fight for 3 years. But other than that, if circumstances were slightly different, Isaac Akhmaev would be the side and probably good for parlays.
Yeah, it's actually 3 years to the day that he
That's
knocked
wild.
out Shinya Aoki.
Mm-hmm. And he did well over in one championship. So it's not like he was fighting bums. He was fighting good fighters.
Yeah, pretty solid competition. He was actually supposed to fight June 14th, but that fight got canceled. And he had a grappling bout against Kotan Boy Nazarov, won by first round armbar. I watched that one. He looked pretty comfortable playing off his back, which is usually not really a Dagestani thing to like look for arm bars off your back. But pretty good grappler, decent striker. My only worry here would be is if Dalby does make it to the second and the third, like he's probably got better cardio than Saigid. But as we saw in the Fakhretdinov fight, like he could still get taken down in that third round and lose minutes that way. I actually just like looking at Saigid, I don't really think he's like the biggest dude. I was kind of looking at him like he's kind of frail, but maybe that's just his opponents that he was going up against. Like he's 6'1", but he doesn't really look that thick. And Dalby is a thick boy. So
Dalby is a thick boy.
He gets you in that clinch, starts breathing in your ear. Things go downhill real quick. But yeah, I think it's probably just a pass for me. I'm not going to be playing Saigid at -315 in a debut against a tough veteran. But also, I can't back Dalby anymore. Like he had his day, and I just don't see it, continuing after a back-to-back losses, but then a brutal knockout loss to Randy Brown. Over 2.5 -140, which is interesting because is this a Akhmaev going to like cold cock him on the feet? Like I don't think so. But Dalby does put himself in the fire, so it could look bad. Fight ends inside the distance -110. I was gonna maybe see if there was like a good line on Saigid by KO, but looks like they're keen to it because it's at +235. I thought you could maybe get Saigid KO at like +500, +600 because he's not really like a big KO puncher, but they're keen to it, man. I think it's probably a pass.
Yeah, this fight screams pass to me.
Yeah, gross. 110 soldiers in the chat, but only 16 likes. Let's get the like count up, please. Smash the like button for me and 138. Taking time out of our day to give you the sauce for the entire card on Qatar this Saturday. Get Couch on, and you'll have the 3 best looking MMA YouTube cappers on the same screen.
I appreciate that.
Nicholas Dalby with a rainbow. Shout out to Nicholas Dalby's rainbow. Take Saigid decision and hedge with Dalby round 2. That's not much of a hedge, man.
Yeah.
Saigid decision and then Dalby round 2.
I don't think you're covering enough there.
I don't know. There's a lot more outcomes that I think could happen in there that you probably lose them both. All right. We got a feature prelim. Bogdan Grad taking on Luke Riley. Grad coming in here off the loss to Muhammad Naimov. Luke Riley making his UFC debut. The 11-0 prospect out of Cage Warriors, out of the Paddy Pimblett camp as well, next generation in the UK. I'm excited for Luke Riley. I'm excited to see how he does because watching his tape, I was impressed with his striking. But my problem here is he's his entire career has been with Cage Warriors. And I hate Cage Warriors, man. They have burned me a few times. to the point where if they're from Cage Warriors, like I'm down to fade them because I just don't really think they're all that great. They're usually getting good matchups. They're usually getting guys that don't have a well-rounded game. Like the Cage Warriors scene, you don't see grapplers there, man. Nobody's in there, shooting takedowns. Like you're not going to see any Dagestanis fighting in Cage Warriors, man. You're just not going to see it. So a lot of these guys, I think, come in here with favorable matchups and matchups where they're not really going to get tested the full MMA skill set. And I think Bogdan Grad's going to come in here trying to test that full MMA skill set. And I think he can have some success with it. I don't really think Grad is the best wrestler, but he is pretty relentless with it. He's a physical guy, has fought at 155 a good amount of his fights. And at 145, he's not tall, but he's pretty strong. It looks like he's on all the sauce that you can get. And I think if he makes his fight a little bit grindy, he can have some success with it. But Luke Riley has shown really good cardio throughout his career. I think that's probably the X factor here is, if Grad comes out here looking for takedowns, I think he gets them. But once round 2 and round 3 hits, I think it's going to be a lot harder for him to hold down Luke Riley, who does have decent get-ups. Mm-hmm. And when he does get up to his feet, he's going to make you pay because he's a boxer. And once you're in that close range, he can rip body shots. And that's going to hurt the cardio of Bogdan Grad. So I think it's probably a Luke Riley late KO. I think it's probably what happens, but that's kind of what the books see as well. Like they think he's going to win by KO. That's the most likely outcome. And they're not really giving you anything too juicy on like a 2-3. So do I want to bet this fight, man? Like, I don't know. I honestly think there is some value on Grad at plus 210, considering he's the guy with the UFC experience. He's got the grappling upside here. But I think it's probably a value loser, man. I think it's probably a value loser. Like, he's going to be winning the fight until the tide turns, and then Luke Riley gets his flow going and starts landing some big shots on Grad, who isn't a very good striker and kind of leaves his head on the center line and gets hit a lot. So Riley 2-3 KO is interesting to me, but they're not really giving you too much as far as the odds are. Pull it up here. We got Riley round 2 KO plus 500, plus 650. You'll probably get better, plus 500, plus 850. They're keen to it, man. You're not going to get, triple digits on those, but that's kind of the way I see it. What do you think?
Yeah. So there's definitely value on the Grad side, but like you said, it's probably a value loser. If I could be confident that he was going to go out there and just grapple like his life depended on it, I could probably get there. But I also know how Bogdan Grad fights, and a lot of times he's willing to get into a striking fight with you. And man, Luke Riley's not the guy you want to do that with because he's good and he's got cardio for days. Like you said, he's got good boxing. A great comparison for this. They're different styles, but the fight will probably look similar is Grad's Contender Series fight against Michael Aswell, because he's going against a guy with cardio, tons of output, primarily boxing, and has good get-ups. That's Michael Aswell. The difference is Aswell throws a lot of 1-2s down the middle. Riley, you're going to get a lot of these like kind of cute little combinations and work the body a little bit more. So instead of just like walking you down like that, you're going to get a little more flashy boxing from Riley. What's better? Well, it kind of depends on the matchup, but I think it's, and I thought Aswell won that fight. I thought it was a horrible decision, but that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. But Grad, if he comes out here and wrestles like that, even, I think he loses. But I think he needs to wrestle like his life depends on it. And if he does that, he can win. He can definitely win because Riley can be taken down. But Riley gets back up a lot of the time, Yeah, it's a pass for me. I don't like the favorite at the line. I feel like if I bet on Grad, I'm going to be disappointed when he just can't seem to hold him down and then gets busted up. Because like you said, he doesn't move his head. He keeps a high guard, but like punches still get through it. So, it's hard to block with MMA gloves. Like I'm keeping my hands up here, but you can fit right through there. It's not like.
Dude, you know what he does? He kind of does like the Jake Hadley thing where he goes cross like this, like that's defense. I'm like, man, I don't like that. Like it's effective to like deflect like 1-2s down the middle. But I think Luke Riley's too good in the boxing. Like he's just gonna go downstairs, rip the body,
and leave one side wide open.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, and also like that works really well when it works great, but when it doesn't, like I said, you're leaving the body open, but you're also leaving shots around the outside on the the one over the arm. You're leaving that side wide open on the face, even. So like, and he doesn't move his head, like you said. So
Give me
yeah, I think he's toast.
Bogdan all day. Go Bogdan plus 3.5.
I don't mind the spread.
I would lay off. I think if he loses, he's probably gonna get finished late. But
if the spread's plus money, it might be okay. But if you're putting a minus in front of it, don't bother.
Yeah, let's see what it is. Oh, they don't have it up. Never mind.
Figures.
First time I didn't have money to tail Matty hits for 100 G's. Hey, there's always next time, brother. There's always
next time.
Doubt a Team of B member loses to an LGBTQ supporter. You know what? When you say it like that, Saigi might be the lock of the card in the Middle East too. In the Middle East, like, they ain't letting Dalby win, man, unless he just cold cocks Saigi. Question for Hey Jive and guests: besides the feature prelim, what fight in the prelims are you most excited for? I would probably say Bexot and Taboria. That would be mine.
Yeah, I'd go Loader and Nardiev just because I really, really want to see Loader just put it on this dude and make it look easy because I got a weakness for the American wrestlers.
Yeah, I'm off the American wrestlers, man.
Yeah, it bites me a lot.
I'm praying on their downfall, honestly, but which is terrible because I'm an American, but
right.
Don't believe in it. Grod is my underdog pick. Riley has no grappling. He doesn't have much of a grappling game, but he has good get-ups, and that's probably all you need. Gary plus Ozdemir lock. Cleaned up on GOAT Islam. Going to clean up again on Armin. Well, you ain't getting it for free, brother. Good talk. Good. Grod talk took Naimov down and had good strikes, and Riley's been almost finished a few times. I was pretty impressed with the way Grod did grapple there because Naimov's pretty physical, good grappler, or at least just physical with his takedown defense as well. But Naimov doesn't have like the boxing of Riley to really make him pay when he gets close, Value on Grod sub. Looks like chat loves Grod.
There's definitely value on him, but man, I feel like it's going to be disappointing. I could be wrong, and I would get to a Grod money line before I'd get to a Riley money line if that makes it feel better.
100% money line perspective. It's Grod all day. Grod sub is plus 1,000. Man, I've lost money on the Grod sub so far. All right, I think I've bet it every single fight for him. The Grod sub, and he got the TKO against Alexander on the ground. He didn't really have any chances in the other ones, but I always expect him to grapple. And I'm like, well, if he's going to grapple and his submission line is plus 1,000, plus 1,200, like I got to take a shot.
Then he doesn't grapple much.
Yeah, exactly. Great guests. 138 is a real G.
Thanks, Ryan.
Bogdan Grod. So he's specifically working on cardio and is going a hard 3 rounds for what it's worth. I did see a clip of him saying he's not sure how he's going to win, but he knows it's going to be bloody and it's going to be a war. So he is pretty good.
He's not grappling.
Yeah, it probably does. But if he gets hit, man, he has no choice. He's got no choice. Riley has a good chin. He had a lot of head kicks. Dude, that fight he had with Loof in Cage Warriors, insane fight. Really
wild.
Good. I thought he was dead to rights when he got dropped, but he's got some heart, man. He's got some heart.
Definitely got heart, that's for sure.
Without elite boxing, head movement, and reactions, that style is ineffective in MMA. It's true.
Very few people can pull it off.
Yeah, the speed is definitely on the side of Luke Riley. All right, go to the main card. We got Tajir Ulanbekov taking on Kyoji Horiguchi. Horiguchi coming back to the UFC since his last fight in 2016. But since 2016, he's done a lot in other promotions, in Ryzen, in Bellator, and he looks like he's still in pretty good shape. Man, he's what 5-0-1 or 5-0. He hasn't lost in a while. So he's actually winning fights, and he's 35. Ulanbekov's 34, so they're not really too far off in age, but definitely more mileage on the side of Horiguchi. He's coming in here as the dog. Tajir comes in as the -200 favorite, around -195. I'm gonna let you take this one first. What you think?
So right off the rip, let me ask you this. Just off the top of your head, can you tell me how many fights you think Horiguchi's lost at flyweight?
Huh. At flyweight, I'd probably say 2.
Close. One, and it's to
One.
Demetrius Johnson.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
it. Every other loss has been at bantamweight. Horiguchi is way too small to be a bantamweight. He's barely big enough to be a flyweight, to be honest. I mean, he says he's 5'4", but I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
So
next to Patchy Mix, I was like, dude, this guy looks like a midget, dude.
Dude, and like people were like, oh, he lost to Patchy Mix. He must be a bum. Patchy Mix is massive compared to this dude. And it wasn't like he beat on him. It was like he just was big enough to pull him down and hang on for dear life. That's the thing. Like Horiguchi's really skilled, man. And like when he loses, it's to guys that are much bigger than him. He lost to Sergio Pettis. He won almost every minute of that fight until he ate a spinning back fist and put him out. Like it was, you give it a spinning back fist, that happens. He just did that to Magomed Magomedov the other day. Like that's the kind of thing that Sergio Pettis can do. Horiguchi rematches the guy, beats the brakes off him. He gets caught by Kai Asakura up at bantamweight, catches him cold. You know, Asakura's a big flyweight. Now he's moving back to bantamweight because he realizes the weight cut sucks. Catches him cold early. The rematch, Horiguchi puts it on him. Horiguchi beats guys like Manel Kape. Like he's really, really good. And when he loses, it's pretty much at bantamweight outside of the loss to Demetrius Johnson, which, let's be honest, Demetrius Johnson, even at this age, could probably pack up Ulanbekov. The guy's one of the best to ever do it in any weight class, let alone flyweight. Got Horiguchi here, man. Like, could he lose because he's, getting up there in age? He's making a re-debut against a tough fight. Yeah, he could, but I think I like his chances here. He's going to be the better striker. Tagir's going to be bigger, but man, we saw Tim Elliott use that veteran savvy on Ulanbekov, and he had to cheat a bit, but yeah, I think Horiguchi is a very live underdog, and I'm going to take him here.
Yeah, I think he's live. I think my only worry with Kyoji is he's kind of had to use his grappling to win his recent fights. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that here against Tagir. Like, could he get him down? Yeah. And I think there could be a good amount of grappling here because Tagir's probably going to have to grapple. Like, is he going to outstrike Kyoji? I doubt it. He could definitely hurt Kyoji. Kyoji's chin is kind of going, but he's been able to fight through it. Like, it just seems like every shot he gets hit with, he kind of gets stunned a little bit and doesn't have the best reactions. So on the feet, I think it's competitive. I think Kyoji still carries a good amount of power as well. But I don't really love his durability. And then in the grappling department, I think Ulanbekov just has more upside to win minutes on top.
Yep.
I don't know that he's going to be able to like control him for long extended periods of time. Like I think Kyoji could probably force some scrambles, but then he runs the risk of getting put into that guillotine. And Ulanbekov's a big flyweight, man. He's a big flyweight. I don't love that, his weight cuts seem to be pretty tough. So maybe, that's not great for his cardio, but I think Ulanbekov's the rightful favorite. I wouldn't play him at minus 194 though, because of the respect I have for Horiguchi. Like, if you think Ulanbekov's like free money here, you should probably do some more research on who Horiguchi is. You should probably think about it a little bit. But I think Ulanbekov probably does get it done. My question would be, these guys were supposed to fight earlier this year. Why is this the matchup that they just want to make happen?
I've got no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. Like, I
don't know what, like, here's the only thing I can think of. I was racking my brain on this earlier because I was at work. I was just kind of doing my thing, and I'm sitting there like, why are they putting this together? Because I'm like really stewing on this one, right? And my thought is they're running out of contenders at flyweight, and this could be a win-win for the UFC. If Ulanbekov wins, they can say he beat a veteran of the UFC who was 7-1 in the UFC. His only loss in the UFC being to Demetrius Johnson, which no shame there. Yeah. So Tagir bumps himself into a potential title shot if Pantoja gets by Joshua Van and they need somebody in there. On the opposite side, if Horiguchi wins, You got a guy who's 8-1 in the UFC, debuts after re-debuts, I guess, after what, like 7, 8, 9, 10 years away? Not quite that long, but close to. Maybe like 7 years. So it's been a long time. So the guy gets back to the UFC, comes back in, and he's now 8-1 in the UFC. He's only lost to Demetrius Johnson. This guy, all of a sudden, right up there in title contention. So either way, they've got a contender. And if they put them against somebody else, can risk them losing to somebody that's maybe not that level. Maybe you lose that because like Tigirulon Bekov lost when they gave him the Tim Elliott matchup, trying to bump him up the ranks, and like Tim Elliott's a guy that can do that to you. But my thought is that they're like, look, it's a win-win. No matter who wins this, we've got somebody else we can throw in there against Pantoja if he gets by Joshua Van, because they need somebody else. Because after that, I don't know who else you put in if he beats Josh Van. So that's my only thing I could get to.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like it's anything else other than that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like who could they be favoring here that they want to make it happen, but you're probably right. It's probably just a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to be something like that because both guys have great records and they both look good on paper.
Long left for Horiguchi. He's good. Tajir is better. We forget about Tyra. Tyra's got to get a Moreno fight for sure. Don't bet against a Habib team guy in Qatar. Yeah, that's the tough part. It's the scorecards. You probably know which way it's going to go. Because honestly, that last fight with that Tajir had with Maxim, I thought the scorecards would be a lot closer than what they were. And
right.
It was 230-27. So like, what? How does that make sense? I would want to see Pantoja Moreno again, but Tyra, yes. Yeah, I kind of want to see Tyra and Pantoja just to see the grappling.
Yeah, if Moreno wins, there's no way they give him Pantoja again. Pantoja just beat him like 3 times.
Yeah,
there's nothing else you can do here.
There's no way. Also, like, real quick before we get into this one, how does Josh Van not getting subbed by Pantoja, man?
Oh, man, I don't know. So this sucks because I really want to be able to pick Josh Van because him and Michael Aswell did me a real solid when one of the kids at my the jiu-jitsu academy I go to, he got like leukemia and stuff, and they sent him like a video like to like, like, hey, get better, man, we're rooting for you type of thing. So I don't want to pick against Josh Van, but like, let's be honest, like I feel like Pantoja probably wins.
Like I love Pantoja and I love Josh Van.
Same.
But I'm like, bro, how does Pantoja not just get his back? Like this guy's been fighting for what is it, 4 years?
Dude, and he just like, he's not a grappler.
No.
Pantoja's so good. But I don't I'm gonna dive in deeper and do a little bit and maybe, but like I don't think so.
A weird thing would be though if Kyoji does win and he gets thrown into the title picture, like they both trained at ATT.
That would be an interesting thing.
They both I'm pretty sure they train together. Like
they do.
And they're probably gonna have to cut that off. I saw Cody Durden's in Qatar with Kyoji. And I'm like, oh God. Is Kyoji gonna be winning this fight until he gets clubbed and subs? Cody Durden.
I mean, ATT's been pretty good lately outside Durden the other day, but
oh bro. Durden is just like the craziest fighter ever. Like he's always winning until he gets bopped with something. And then the fight's over. It's like, okay, well, it was fun while it lasted, Cody.
Yeah, because he used to be able to eat those shots and not get put out. And like then he would win the fight. But it's not there anymore. He's taking too many of them.
No. All right. Let's go to the big boys. Sergey taking on Shamil the Blob Gaziev. Gaziev comes in here as the slight favorite. I think he's sitting around minus 140, minus 150, minus 140 now. Spivak comes back plus 120. Spivak coming off the loss to Waldo earlier this year, which some people think that Spivak won, which was interesting. I don't think he did. Shamil coming in here off the KO win against Thomas Peterson. I don't know if you went back and rewatched that, but I rewatched it. And I'm like, bro, how did Thomas Peterson get KO'd and then immediately take his mouthpiece out and chuck it? Like, I guess he got hit with the right hand, which was cool. Like, it looked like it did, like, drop him.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the reaction he had right away was like, I've never seen that before. where a fighter gets knocked out and immediately pulls out their mouthpiece and chucks it in like frustration. It's like, dude, Gaziev wasn't even like following up either. So wouldn't you like think you're still in the fight, right? It was weird, man. It with all the stuff that's going on, I'm like, dude, did Thomas Peterson get flown out to Saudi Arabia to get KO'd by Shamil Gaziev in round 1? Would I put it past him? I honestly would not put it past him, allegedly. But it was a KO. It goes down in the books as a KO. I still don't know if Shamil Gaziev is good, man. I just don't understand if he's good. Like, he's big and he's going to be a tough guy to, like, I don't want to say out physical because he's not like physically imposing, but he's big and wide and blobby. So when he goes up against some of these guys, like, he's just so much bigger, and he does have some sneaky athleticism, which is nice. I think he was a volleyball player, the Dagestani volleyball player, which is hilarious. But Spivak, I think Spivak, I picked Spivak to win, but that was 100% based on he's fought the better level of competition. If he gets his game going, he usually looks pretty good, but he does tend to flake out a little bit. And if Gaziev catches him with something early, I wouldn't be shocked if Spivak just covers up and that's the fight. But if Spivak doesn't get caught with something big, I think he could probably get his wrestling going here. I don't think Gaziev has like the best takedown defense. I don't really think he has like great grappling. You know, to out wrestle Dante Mays doesn't really tell me much. A lot of people have done that. And Spivak's fighting much better level of competition. I don't think he's like a terrible striker on the feet. It's just that once he gets hit with something he doesn't like, he's out of there. So I picked Spivak because he's the underdog here, but do I want to bet him is the question. I haven't decided yet. He's plus 120, man. Do I want to go against the EV in the Middle East? Not really, but I might have to, man, because Gaziev, I just don't know that he's all there. What do you think?
This is a tricky one because so typically in heavyweights, I like to bet the over 1.5 because, or the over in general, because heavyweights outside of the top 5 love to just lay on each other against the cage and not do anything. That hasn't been the case for the big meal. That dude's getting guys out of there. And and Spivak, man, he hasn't looked good lately. Like I mean, I guess it was a close fight with Waldo, don't get me wrong, but like Spivak hasn't really I don't like the gym change for him. He hasn't looked as good lately. When he gets hit, he just kind of, just doesn't care to keep going. He'll have moments where he looks great, but yeah, he just kind of he fades, like he kind of crumbles. And Gaziev's only loss is to Rosenstrike, and they gave us Rosenstrike at plus money. Oh my gosh, that was a great one. I love that. I loved that bet. That was a fantastic bet. One of my favorites. Because come on, Rosenstrike is way better than this guy. And then everybody needs that loss. I do think that helped him. He realized like what he can't do. But that was also a really tough out for somebody that had that level of competition. And I believe it was a main event, so it'd be 5 rounds, and he didn't make it all the way. So like, okay, but then you look at who he's beating, and it's not anybody that's the level of Spivak, but nobody that's the level of Spivak has beaten Gaziev either. So it's really hard to know where Gaziev is. So when you said you don't really know if he's good, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm siding with Gaziev because I feel like he's going to have a strong start, and Spivak just doesn't seem to like pressure anymore. As soon as you give him any resistance, he just wants to just kind of go down. That's it. Or like, phone it in. Like, and because like he's a guy that was looking great, but then you look at his last 5 fights, he's like 2-3, and like it's just I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't seem the same, So I'm siding with Gaziev, but it's probably a pass. I'm not going to bet him as a favorite. I can't bet the over like I normally would because I don't know if Spivak's gonna give much resistance. But then if he does give resistance, he could totally win. So yeah, I'll take the big meal to get it done, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, I don't mind like a Gaziev round 1 or 2 KO here.
That I think round 1 is probably how he gets it done if he gets it done. But
Yeah, I agree.
Or a decision. That's what we need. We need a round 1 or decision prop because in heavyweight, that's kind of what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it kind of is, man. Like if these guys get out of round 1, and the thing is, like, they just get so tired they can't
Mhm.
do anything. And Gaziev is definitely that guy. He did get a round 2 KO against Budai, but Budai
Yep.
was kind of done in round 1. There wasn't really much left for him to eat back up. But
I guess in hindsight too, Budai's a pretty good win.
it is a good win. My thing with Budai though was like his wins in the UFC were so bad.
Right,
Like,
but he has a lot of them.
yeah, he does. Like he fought everybody at the bottom of the barrel and beat everybody.
Mhm.
And then he fought Buchecha, and the bookmakers were like, "Yeah, this Budai guy hasn't fought anybody. So let's make him a dog." And then Buchecha turned out to be absolute shit. And I guess Budai's all right, but yeah, I might get there with Spivak, especially if the line grows, because I do think like it should be at least a pick 'em, man. Like Gaziev hasn't really shown me much for him to be a favorite over a guy that at one point was on a nice winning streak and fought Tsarukyan for a number 1 contender fight at the time. So
That was about the last time he looked good too.
yeah, it
I mean,
was.
before that, right before that fight,
Yeah,
not in
yeah,
that
it
fight.
was. Yeah, who did he? I think who did he fight after he lost to Gane? Was that the Tybura fight?
I guess he looked good in the Tybura fight, but that was a weird one.
Oh yeah,
Where he got that submission like right
arm
away.
guard.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
armbar. Yep.
yeah, it was the Tybura fight. Armbar from guard.
Yep. I guess he did look good in that, but he didn't. He only like I don't know. That was a weird looked good. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah,
what you expect.
yeah. Is he gonna armbar Gaziev from guard?
No,
Probably not.
I'd be shocked.
Probably not.
I was shocked when he did it to Tybura, to be honest.
My worry with Gaziev is like he gets judo throwed.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up on bottom and Spivak's on top pounding away. How the fuck is Gaziev gonna get up?
He's not.
Like, how is he gonna get up? And if he does, how tired is he gonna be? Like
It's gonna take all the King's soldiers and all the King's men to get Gaziev off of the mat again. Like
oh man. If Spivak judo throws Gaziev, imagine the noise that's gonna make. The whole
we might need a new octagon after that.
oh man, he's gonna go straight through the canvas.
Hopefully, you got a spare.
Heavyweights over that part of world decision all day, every day. Yeah, with the climate heat, they're gonna be drenched in sweat going out there from the jump and just gassed. I have Gaziev to be ranked at the end of 2025. Do you think he keeps his ranking even if he loses?
Maybe.
Probably.
He's 11. I could see it.
Yeah, he probably would.
And there's not very many heavyweights, so yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like you're ranked just by default.
Yeah, you're good. All right, Jack Hermanson taking on Mick Tebek Oralby. The fight nobody ever saw coming. Jack Hermanson going down to 170. Oralby going back up to 170, where he made his UFC debut and submitted Uros Medic in round 2. Since then, he's picked up a decision victory over Elvis Brenner, decision loss to Mateusz Rambetsky, and a round 1 sub to Tafiq Musayev. Hermanson coming off the KO loss to RoboCop 4 months ago, which was one of the brutalest KOs of the year.
Get a little extra in there too.
Yeah, and one extra, which was not needed, but definitely didn't help his chin.
No.
Now going down to 170, I want to see this guy on the scales before I put any money on this fight because, well, actually, I lied. I did put money on this fight already, but Hermanson at 170, I don't understand how it's going to happen, but it is supposedly going to happen. My take on this one is fight doesn't go the distance, man. It was plus 110. I think that covers a lot of outcomes. I mean, Hermanson, I guess he could throw some kicks from range to a decision, but I don't think Oralby is going to let him do that. And if they're on the ground, Hermanson could submit him. Oralby could submit him. Oralby could crack him on the feet. I think it covers a lot of outcomes. It was plus money today. That's when I put it in. But from a money line standpoint, like I'm not really that high on Oralby. Like I think he's good, but at 170, I think he's given up like part of what makes him good at 155, which is his physicality and his top pressure. And he's bigger than a lot of these guys, and he does hit hard. He has good durability. Now he's going up against Hermanson, who he doesn't crack at all. Like, he's not much of a power puncher, but he is pretty good with his footwork, and he's gonna be able to be bigger than Oralby. So I think Oralby probably wins, but I'm just gonna go with fight doesn't go the distance here. What do you think?
Yeah, so I don't really know what to think because of the complete unknown in the weight classes, right? Because so I think Oralby at 170 makes sense. I don't think Hermanson at 170 makes sense, but he's way bigger. Like, he should be way, way bigger here. I do think if it goes to decision, Hermanson has won the fight, because I don't see Oralby outpointing Hermanson over 3 rounds. So if you have a sports book that allows you to bet decision only, like, so only if the fight goes to decision, does this bet play, I think Hermanson's a good spot there. Because I can't imagine that if Oralby is winning this fight, that he hasn't put out a Jack Hermanson who was just KO'd 4 months ago and is now cutting an additional 15 pounds. That seems crazy. I can't imagine Hermanson's chin's going to look great at 170. Then again, maybe it somehow does. But like, it was 4 months ago he cut weight to make 185. So it's like, we got this guy on Ozempic or something? Like, what is he doing to get down to 170? Like, like, especially 4 months ago. 4 months ago. Yeah. So
I wonder if he's like, after he or when he fights at 185, like maybe he's 197, like around that. Cause like there's a lot of welterweights that just fought on this card that are around like 195 to 200 when they fight. So maybe that's the case. But by the way I look at him, like, I find that hard to believe.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's got a big reach advantage here too.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be able to chip away from the outside, but for how long is kind of the question. That was
if it gets to decision, should be Hermanson.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Hermanson had a good chance of beating RoboCop, and he was looking great until he got caught. So
I took him over RoboCop.
Yeah, I think
I was wrong.
I've done it too. But yeah, the brutal KO is terrible. And then the weight change is terrible. But I listened to an interview today. He sounds confident with it. So
yeah, like, it's so hard to know. Like, anybody that feels super strong about a side here, they're either just ignorant and not like paying attention to the variables, or they know something I don't, because I just don't understand how anybody could be confident in what Jack Hermanson's weight cut to 170 is going to look like and how he's going to recover after being knocked out 4 months ago. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially that knockout.
Yeah. And Oralby does have some nice hands.
He does.
When he lets him go. Like, good straight punches. But we'll see, man. I told you I like to fight to not go the distance at minus 105. Now I got it at plus money earlier today, but I still think it's good.
Yep. That's not bad.
Maddie, on the Hermanson sub, it's plus 1,800 on DraftKings. That is a big number, man. Plus 1,800 on the sub for Hermanson. If they're going to be grappling, Mike, how bad can it look? You know, like if Oralby's shooting takedowns, how bad could it look? Hermanson chin going to be brittle, probably. Yeah. Lost a massive payday on Oralby at 308 versus Rebecca, but I think he dominates Jack. I remember that fight because I had Rebecca decision, man. That was a sweat of all sweats. Hermanson at 170 or recipe for disaster. Give me Oralby a first round KO. Could happen. Could definitely happen. Like that Sig Pratis t-shirt. Yeah, it's pretty fire. I fuck with it heavy. Sports testimony. How we doing, brother? He said he had to cut 12 pounds to make 185.
Yeah, I mean, if you take him at his word, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess he is around that 197 range, but I don't know, man. If you haven't done it before, you know, like at 37, is it the best idea? No. Must have immediately started dieting. Yeah. RoboCop put that man on a diet with that last punch. Be like, I gotta go down a weight class. This one seems simple. Oralby needed the weight addition, and Jack can't lose any extra. Oralby money line. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, Oralby to me is just not really a guy that I would want to back at minus 200 plus unless he has a clear grappling edge. And in this one, I don't really know if he does. All right, Volkan Oezdemir taking on Alonzo Menifield. Volkan coming in here off the loss to Carlos Ulberg. Menifield coming off back-to-back wins against Julius Walker and Umar C. Big underdog cash earlier this year in June. Volkan comes in as the favorite at minus 225. Alonzo Menifield plus 190. I'll let you take this one. What you got?
I love me some Alonzo Menifield, not just like necessarily in this fight, but like I've been cashing on this guy as an underdog so many times. I backed him against Walker. I backed him against Umar C when everybody told me I was stupid. I backed him against Jacoby. I've been backing this guy. I did not back him against Brzakanov. That would have been silly. I may have backed him against Olberg, so I might have lost on that one, but definitely not Brzakanov. But yeah, like Alonzo Menifield is a guy that just wins fights. You're like, oh, there's no way this guy can win this fight. Everybody keeps telling me that. They keep saying 138. There's no way that this guy's going to win the fight. Like he's terrible. The other guy's a better striker. The other guy's a better grappler. This, that, and the other. I also backed him against Jimmy Crute both times. The draw didn't matter. It pushed. The second time you beat him up. It's like you're giving me Menifield as an underdog again. I can't not just back the guy. So I got to back Menifield. And if he somehow lets me down, that's okay. I'm so far up on Menifield after cashing on him against Omar Asai, especially because that was huge underdog money. That like I just like I got to back the guy here. I think he can beat Ozdemir by the same way he beats everybody else. Is just somehow making it his fight. Like he does. He's got good head movement. He's not super skilled as a striker, but he gets his head off the center line. Doesn't need a lot of stuff super flush. When he does need it flush, sometimes it puts him out. That's how Murzakanov got him. That's how Olberg got him. But if you don't knock him out in the first little bit, dude's going to be there. And he's a freak athlete. When he's tired, it doesn't matter. The dude still just goes. So if Volkan knocks him out, I'm not going to be surprised. But what I would be surprised about is if Volkan doesn't knock him out, I would be surprised if all of a sudden Volkan just can outpoint him easily to a decision, because Menifield's going to make this into a dogfight, and it's going to be one of those where you're like, man, I don't know who's going to win this. So yeah, I got to take Menifield, especially at like plus 195 or whatever he is. Like, man, but I understand the Ozdemir pick. I understand why people, like for a lot of people, I understand why people would want to back Ozdemir. I feel like Alonzo's got the better wins lately, and what have you done for me lately? And Alonzo's done a whole lot for me lately. So give me Alonzo Menifield. Probably another decision, but let's go with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other side, but it's not I'm not like all over it. Volkan's minus 225. Like I think he's the rightful favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not as high on Menifield as you have been. I feel like I've picked my spots nicely. I think his kryptonite is like a guy that's just like a real clean striker. And he got me against Jacoby. I'm pretty sure I bet Jacoby against him. But that was like he landed 2 shots in that fight that ultimately like won him the fight in round 2 and 3. It's all he needed, man. It's all he needed. Jacoby couldn't really like separate himself. And then against Olberg, sparked him. Murzakanov, real clean kickboxer, sparked him. And I think Ozdemir is a clean kickboxer, man. So I think Ozdemir gets this one done. I think he probably gets it done mid. It's either like a mid round KO, like early round 2, late round 2, or it probably goes to decision. I think Ozdemir, I like love watching Ozdemir strike, man. I think he's really clean. He loads his punches nicely. Like he puts them in combination together real nicely. He's light on his toes, throws good kicks. I thought his fight with Olberg was impressive. The way he was able to pressure Olberg and hit a guy that's really hard to hit. Like Olberg has really good striking defense. And Menifield to me is a lot of physicality, a lot of throwing big hooks and not hoping that they land, but kind of hoping that they land, but also like making his opponent respect what's coming back at him. So I think it's a bad matchup for Menifield. Is he going to take down Ozdemir? He could, but I don't really see him have a lot of success with that. He did move back to Fortis MMA after that Murzakanov loss. So he's now 2-0 back at Fortis, which I guess is good.
Very good.
I don't think the competition he faces on the level of like a Ozdemir. Like these are 2 very unproven guys in the UFC, Julius Walker and Umar C. I remember Umar C at minus 800. I'm like, this cannot be right. But I didn't play Menifield, of course, and he gets it done. Close fight. And both of those fights were close. Like at
Mhm.
the end of the Menafield fight, I'm like, I don't know who won. At the end of the Walker fight, I'm like, I don't know who won. So I think coming in here, Menafield back-to-back wins might have a little bit of some recency bias. So I actually could see there being value on Uzdemir when it's all said and done, like how the fight plays out. But Uzdemir is not really a guy that I would want to play at minus 200 plus against most guys, So I was going to look at Uzdemir decision to see what it was. I was actually contemplating like taking it over here at plus 130 for the over 2.5. Because I feel like if it gets out of the first 7.5 minutes, it's probably going to go to a decision. Uzdemir decision.
I feel like if Uzdemir wins, it's KO1.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could KO him one, which it's.
I mean, that's how you beat Menafield historically, except for the weird William Knight fight. Like, I mean, that was like nobody did anything in that fight. It was the weirdest fight. But
Yeah,
outside of that one, clear back in 2021, I think he's only had one other loss by decision to Devin Clark. Otherwise, you're knocking him out in the first.
yeah, plus
No,
two.
no, Devin Clark fight was way a long time ago. But I mean, anything can happen. It's a fight. But like, I think if Ozdemir wins, it's probably round one.
Probably. My only worry is like, I mean, Uzdemir is only knocking out Johnny Walker recently in round one.
Yeah.
And yeah, he clubbed and subbed Guskov, but that was Guskov's debut on like relatively short notice.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't if the decision line was bigger, I would maybe take a poke, but it's not really that great. Plus 265, plus 300.
It'll be close. If it goes to decision, like Alonso just got so much grit. Like the dude just keeps. If you don't put him out, dude just keeps going no matter how tired he is. And I think that's how he ends up winning these fights where you're like, how is this guy going to win this? And he just does because he's gritty. But he could totally lose. I'm not going to say he can't win. He can't lose. Like,
yeah, maybe he
could totally win.
Maybe Menafield lands 2 punches in the last 2 rounds and takes it.
It's all it takes. Right, the last 10 seconds of the round, he hits him and drops him, and then it's like, well, he just stole the round back.
Wrestling upside on Alonso's side, I do agree. Volk, or I retire from betting.
Ooh, I wouldn't make claims like that just in case.
Was it Alonso last fight that he got caught and then folded the guy? No.
I don't think so. His last couple were decisions.
I think Johnny Walker would beat Alonso Menafield, who Volkan KO'd easy.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no. That you cannot play MMA math with Johnny Walker.
No.
Lazy bet is slacking. Please, 138 MMA. Don't go with your heart here. Go with your head and pick Volk. It's not Volkanovski.
If Volkanovski's in there, that dude's a Chad. I'm taking that guy over anybody. Let's go.
I feel this is a bad matchup for Alonso. Plus, Alonso has to fly to the other side of the world.
I agree with all that, but Alonso, if you looked at the checks this guy's getting from the UFC, dude's getting paid. Like as far as like mid-card guys, like Alonso's getting paid.
Yeah, he's had a lot of fights.
Dude can fly over there early enough to not have the jet lag. I bet you. He's probably been there at least this whole week, if not more.
Like the Volkan decision. Yeah, the reason I like the over 2.5 is like Volkan's coming off a decision. Alonso's coming off back-to-back decisions. And if he's not getting knocked out, like probably going to go to decision here. So that's kind of why I like the over 2.5 over anything, but we'll see. Good fight though. I mean, it's kind of a low-key banger. I kind of like it.
It's going to be a banger for sure.
All right, co-main event. We got Bilal Muhammad taking on Ian Machado Gary. Gary coming off the win to Carlos Parates. Beat him up for 23 minutes maybe, and then was on all fours, crawling away, and survived. Kind of impressive how he survived because I thought he was dead to rights. Bilal coming off the loss to JDM in a 5-round war. Honestly, a 5-round war, loses his title. He's 37 now. He comes in here as the plus 2. Is he up to plus 200? Yeah, plus 210 dog to the much younger Ian Gary, who is probably looking to get a finish here after what happened last week with Carlos Prates and Michael Morales. But, I've fallen into the trap of the Ian Gary finish a lot of times in my career, and that man ain't finishing nobody. That man ain't finishing nobody unless he's catching him with a head kick, which could happen here. I mean, his head kick is nasty. I rewatched the Prates fight today, and I'm like, he landed a flush head kick on Prates. I was like, dude, how did he eat that? But he did. 3-rounder here, though. That's the big thing for me is it's 3 rounds, which I don't love for like the matchup. Like I would have liked to see 5 rounds, but with the 3-round fight, I do think that favors an Ian Gary because Bilal has very, very good cardio. And it's not that Ian doesn't have good cardio, but I think his striking game is a little bit easier to be effective for 15 minutes. Guy that uses a lot of footwork, uses his speed and output, and Bilal's going to have to track him down. So I think Ian Gary's the rightful favorite here. I think Ian Gary gets it done probably by decision. I wouldn't be shocked if he, wobbles Bilal with something, but I think Bilal's probably good enough to not get finished here. I just think Bilal's chances of having like a resurgence at 37 after losing the belt, pretty low. And I've been a big hater of Ian Gary, but I've never said he was a bad fighter. I've always said he was a very, very good fighter. And one thing I love about Ian Gary from a fighting perspective is he's a very smart fighter. And Bilal's usually a smart fighter. But I think Ian Gary might be the smarter fighter, man, especially after watching JDM versus Bilal. So I think Ian Gary gets it done. What do you think?
Yeah, like the line is making me want to take Bilal, but I do think Ian Gary's the side. It's weird because like if it wasn't for the betting line, if I was just looking at it for a pick perspective, yeah, I'd have to take Ian Gary, especially over 3 rounds. I think he's the type of guy that could edge out 2 rounds early and then just survive the third against Bilal, who's going to maybe find his range in the third and start really putting it on him. But in over 3 rounds, it doesn't matter. It's too late. Bilal's not going to be the guy that's going to knock you out. So I'm not really thinking Bilal's got like if he gets down on the scorecards in the first 2, like I don't see him getting a finish over Gary. He's not a big submission threat. So it's like, okay, he kind of needs to win the early rounds. And that's what makes me think Gary's the side, especially in a 3-rounder. But man, that line makes me really tempted to play Bilal because like plus 200 on a guy that was just the champion not that long ago. I mean, it feels like long ago now because it was 2 champions ago, but still like he's good. He's only got 4 losses in his entire career. And like, that's impressive. But at the same time, Gary's only lost once, and that was a competitive fight too. So, but Bilal's good. He's very, very skilled. He could absolutely win this fight. And at that number, I don't hate it, especially, in Qatar. I feel like that probably favors Bilal over Ian Gary. But at the same time, I think Gary's going to be able to beat him. And by this point in the cards too, everybody's going to say like, oh, the judges in Qatar, but like, it's going to be the same judges we're used to in like Vegas by this point in the card. Now, early on the card may be different, but by the co-main event, you're going to see Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, freaking who else? Those people, right? What's his face's brother? McCarthy, right? Ron McCarthy. Yeah, that's the one. Not John, but Ron. Like you're going to see those type of guys as the judges for the co-main and the main event. So I feel like it's going to be Gary decision. I feel good about the over. I'd be surprised if either guy gets a finish. Neither of them are known for their finishing abilities, and both guys are pretty darn tough. So, yeah, give me a Gary decision here.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's like the line on Bilal.
So tempting.
It's like they're like trying to tempt you to take Bilal plus 210, but I just don't think it happens, man. I've had a pretty good read on Bilal. I backed him in most of his fights.
Same.
From Sean Brady, dog got him against a dog against Burns, dog against Leon, and then bet Jack in his last fight. And then in this one, it's like I'm not tempted to take the plus 210, but like I can see why somebody would be, at minus 250 for Ian though. He's like all the finishing upside is on his side, which he's not much of a finisher, but if there was ever a time that he needed a finish or was going to get a finish, this is probably the time. And he has elite footwork. Like Bilal needs to be in the pocket with you, or at least needs to be in like boxing range to let his hands go. Ian's probably not going to give him that. And Ian's takedown defense is pretty good. I think his ground game is evolving. So it's Ian Gary for me. I don't even want to mess around with like betting him to win by KO or decision. The KO line for him is plus 500. Oh, damn. I didn't think it'd be that big. Plus 500 on the KO is actually
You just
kind of
don't see it though.
Yeah, I know. I don't see it either, but it is tempting. It is
Yeah.
tempting. It's probably a decision. I'm not going to bet him by decision. I do think there's some value on him though at minus 250. Honestly, I think he should be like minus 300. So, Ian Gary for me. We'll hit these chats before we get to the main event. Please hit the like button for us before we get into this main event. Let's hit the chats. If Ian wants to jump Kamaru for that title fight, I almost think he needs a finish here. You're probably right. Ian's been repeating the same shit for 3 weeks now. I will say this, though. The UFC loves Ian Gary now. They love him. So I wouldn't be shocked if, he puts on a 30-27. Like, if it's a good fight, I could see him giving him the next title shot. But I think it honestly just comes down to what Makhachev wants at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Ian may actually go for a finish for once. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to go for it, like, letting it, like, just going all out for a KO. He's just too smart for that.
Yeah, he's definitely not dumb enough to like blow it in the first round and then just die.
Yeah. Like he knows if he just keeps winning, like he's young enough. He doesn't need to like rush it,
Yep, he'll get there. Plus, I'm pretty sure he knows better than to rush it to get to an Islam fight. Like the longer you get to put that off, the better. Because Islam probably smashes both these guys, no problem. To be honest, Bilal knows he'd get smashed by Islam. He's said as much before already. So
that's another thing that I was going to bring up too. It's like, what motivation does Bilal have now?
None.
If he wins, like he's not going to fight Islam for the title.
Even if he does, like he knows he's going to lose.
Yeah,
it's not going to be competitive.
Like he was the guy that was saying he wasn't going to fight Islam. Islam never said he wasn't going to fight Bilal. But like now that Islam's a champ, what does Bilal have to fight for?
Money, I guess. You get paid.
Money and I guess just saying that he beat this guy or whatever. But Usman title shot is crazy. I don't get where this comes from.
Yeah, he's got one win in his last 4 fights.
Yeah, I think that's just who Islam would want to fight. I mean, if you're Islam, why would you fight Morales? Like a young, hungry, at 26-year-old that's huge.
If Islam is really sticking around for another 3 or 4 years, if I'm Islam, I'm trying to get Morales out of there now because he's only going to get better. And Morales is not somebody that you want to wait until he's in his prime to fight him. But if you can get a dominant win over him now, that might be the time. So if I'm Islam, I'm calling for Morales now where he can beat him because he can beat him now. Islam's so good. But like, you give Morales another 3 years. Islam's, had some wear and tear. He's, getting up there, right? He's like 37 at this point or something. And it's like, ooh, all right. Now Morales has a real good shot at beating him. So if I'm Islam, I'm calling for the Morales fight, trying to get that out of the way. But
I think he wants to fight Usman.
I think he does too.
Which is the only fight that he wants right now. Like you could cross off the list, like, oh, I beat one of the best welterweights of all time. But nobody's gonna remember 10 years from now that Kamaru Usman was 38 with no knees left. So
it depends. What they'll do is the same stuff that they do for guys like BJ Penn, for example, and they're like, oh, but he just went on this awful skid at the end of his career and he sucks, and like that's all they're gonna remember. So
yeah, probably.
So like BJ Penn's one of the greatest fighters ever live, and the like fan base these days just think of him as some bum that got beaten in most of his fights towards the end of his career, and it's like it's kind of sad. So I feel like that's what we're gonna see if Islam beats up Kamaru.
Yeah, the bad thing with Kamaru is like he's 1-3 in his last 4, but it's one of them's to Chimaev, and one of them is like his really only clear loss was to Edwards in the second fight. Like he got head kicked, but anybody can get head kicked on any night. And then he lost to Edwards, and then short 10 days notice against Usman, up a weight class. It's like
that was close too.
Yeah, it was close. I mean, Hamzat barely took him down after 1 round.
Right. And he looked good against Buckley. I don't think he's going to look that good against Islam, though.
I don't think Usman versus Islam is like the worst fight. Honestly, I think it's probably a decent fight. All right. Let's go to the main event of the evening. We got Arman Tsarukyan taking on Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, 3 wins in a row. Beat Claudio Puelles. Beat Jalen Turner.
Mm-hmm.
It was so long ago, I forgot. I was actually there in attendance when he beat
Nice.
Jalen Turner. And he beat Mateusz Gamrot by close decision his last time out. Arman Tsarukyan was supposed to fight for the title this January. Pulled out with a back issue, I guess. So they say. Nina Drama cannot confirm nor deny that there was a back injury. But he comes in here as a big favorite. I was very excited to see him fight Islam. I'm kind of pissed that we never got to see that rematch. But in this one against Hooker, I think he should roll, and the books agree with me. Minus 500 for Tsarukyan, plus 375 for Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's had this little resurgence, but I don't read into it too much, man. This is a matchup where I think it's kind of Hooker's kryptonite. Like, Hooker needs to be on the feet with you to brawl. And yeah, he just faced a grappler, Mateusz Gamrot, but Gamrot and Tsarukyan are different type of fighters. Like, Gamrot is a grappler that can get takedowns, and he's going to put you through the ringer of those takedowns and use his cardio to win. And obviously, he beat Arman Tsarukyan, but Tsarukyan's game is to take you down and smash your face in. But you're not going to hold down Mateusz Gamrot. Like, you're not going to do that to him. So that was a tough fight for Tsarukyan. And then they kind of went back and forth on the feet. That was also, 3 or 4 years ago? And now Tsarukyan's stepping in here against Hooker. I think he should be able to get takedowns. I think he should be able to punch a hole in Hooker's face on the ground. And I think he could find a submission because Tsarukyan's been having a good amount of grappling competitions lately, and he's looked pretty dang good in those. He submitted Benson Henderson. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tsarukyan gets on top, finds a submission on Dan Hooker. So I get Tsarukyan inside the distance. What do you think?
Man, I could see this sneak into a decision somehow because Hooker is one of the toughest people on the planet. Like, that dude is so tough. But then again, the submission, like you said, because if you get caught in a sub, like, you just kind of get caught in a sub, especially if it puts you to sleep. There's nothing you can do about that. But like, Hooker just kind of, man, this is a fight that I don't know that he has the style to win. I mean, he can catch him. We've seen Tsarukyan caught before. Hasn't been put out, but like, yeah, outside of that, I don't know. And you mentioned the Gamrot fight. I thought Tsarukyan won that fight. I don't know how they scored it for Gamrot.
I thought he did too. I was like,
I thought it was clear. I thought it was clear, but whatever. I also thought Hooker beat Gamrot, so there's that. So I mean, that's good, which he did. But like, fair enough. Yeah, I think Tsarukyan wins. But if Hooker somehow caught him, I wouldn't be like insanely surprised, but that'd be about it. Like, I don't think he's going to be winning the minutes. I don't think he's going to have a ton of offensive success. I think it's going to be he's going to be defending a lot. And if he catches him in something on in like a defensive scramble, that'd be the way he beats a guy like Tsarukyan. But yeah, I don't see it. I think Tsarukyan takes him down, lands some serious damage. Yeah, maybe Tsarukyan can gas out if Hooker doesn't go away, but like, even then, like, we haven't really seen Tsarukyan death gas before. So yeah, I think Tsarukyan is the rightful big favorite, but Hooker's a good test. He's a tough fighter. Like, I mean, he's going to give anybody a good fight. So, well, almost anybody. Islam, he didn't give him a good fight at all, but outside of that, Hooker can give anybody at 155 a good fight. But I'll take Tsarukyan to get the win. If the decision line was good, I might play that, but otherwise, I think he could win anyway. That's the thing. Decision, submission, TKO, anything.
Yeah, I think it's a real bad look that Jalen Turner landed a takedown on Dan Hooker.
Yeah, not a good thing.
Very bad thing. I just don't think Dan Hooker's like win streak here is much of substance. Like, they're good fights. Like, his last 2 fights were like really entertaining.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the guy got knocked out by Arnold Allen down a weight class, which he tried to reinvent himself by moving down a weight class after Islam ran through him. And then he beat Claudio Puelles, who's terrible. and who literally has one move. Jalen Turner recently retired and then unretired, and Gamrot, they call him Scamrot for a reason. He's a fucking scammer. So let's look at these odds here.
It was he minus 600 or something like that.
Gamrot, yeah, he was a big favorite. In that round one, like Hooker hurt him, and then Gamrot hurt Dan Hooker on the feet. I was like, bro, we can't be getting hurt by Mateusz Gamrot, man. That just cannot be happening.
Hooker's taken probably more damage than anybody in the division at this point, just over his career.
Yes, the chat, Hooker hand injury. The dude's hands break like every single, like the dude could be, he hits the bag once, like his hand's broken. Like the dude is, I don't want to say he's fragile, but like he gets hurt a lot, but he fights through it. It's not like he's gonna like cower away if he gets hurt. And the scar tissue on the guy is insane. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we get another situation where it's Joel Alvarez and Tsarukyan where he just batters him with some elbows in guard or something, and Hooker's face just gets bloodied up to all hell, and maybe we get a doctor stoppage or something. But looking at the props, man, I do tend to lean towards like a submission because I don't think Hooker is a guy that's gonna like get TKO'd on the ground. Like he's gonna keep moving, man. He's not gonna give up on himself. But then
unless you put him completely out.
Yeah, unless you put him completely out. But then I also think of like Tsarukyan could cut him with an elbow. It could be a doctor stoppage, or he does catch him with something and then he just goes down, because Hooker's not a spring chicken by any means. A lot of damage occurred, and I think Tsarukyan's just a much fresher guy. Absolutely.
Do you think there's still value on the money line for Tsarukyan at this point?
At minus 500, I honestly do.
Yeah, I mean, like out of 100 times, if they fought 100 times over and over again, but just like restart, do you think Hooker wins any of them? I mean, maybe one on a fluke, but like maybe more than one. But you know what I mean.
100 times, I would give Hooker maybe 10.
10. So you think it's 90% Arman Tsarukyan?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, does he knock him out? Like, he's not going to win minutes here. There's no way he wins minutes. Is he going to win moments? Maybe. Like, maybe if he hurts Tsarukyan, but then Tsarukyan's just going to be in on his hips and he's going to get a takedown.
So if you give Arman 90%, minus 500 is giving him 83.3 repeating percent implied probability. At that point, there's value on Tsarukyan at minus 500. So
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Minus 500 is probably the highest I would play him at.
Lay 5 units to get one, you know?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, but I would.
No?
I would put him in a parlay. Like, if I'm going to put some guys in a parlay, I want to still see value on them, because I'm not like the biggest chalk better.
Tsarukyan and Yakiev, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, what is minus 1,800? That's got to be close to 90%, right?
I mean, that's like 100% almost. Let's see, minus 1,800. 94.74%.
95, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you parlay the two together, though, you get minus 375. I think that's free money right there, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just playing.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah. And then you get really upset when one of them gets DQ'd or something stupid.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
I mean, at least they're in the Middle East. Yakiev's probably not going to get a DQ, even if he just flat out knees him in the face.
Yeah, no contest.
Yeah, no contest. Or they'll just start it back up. No point taken.
They've been doing that, so yeah, maybe.
Kara, you're fine, bro. Just keep fighting, bro. Just keep fighting. Hooker has to have a shit chin just from damage in the Poirier fight. Yeah, that was a brutal one. Don't be silly.
Was that? That was
Trust Hooker jumping the gilly. Yeah,
that doesn't go well for him if he does.
Remember when Oliveira jumped gilly and literally had it, but Tsarukyan still got out, bro? Like, yeah, I don't think Hooker's jumping a gilly and getting it, bro. Hooker Poirier beating Apex was fucking criminal. Best first and second round I've ever watched. That was an insane fight, man.
To be fair, they couldn't really go anywhere else at that point. So
yeah, that was peak COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Could take Arman minus the spread. I don't think it's a close fight. I don't think the spread's going to be that great. It's probably -5.5, and it's probably like -300 or something.
I mean, it's probably even more than yeah. I mean, it's insane. Yeah.
Gave all my friends a free money parlay. Tsarukyan inside the distance. Kyle, oh god, yeah, and Wellmaker inside the distance, bro.
Oh.
Bro didn't watch the tape. It's all right though.
No.
It's all right. All right, boys, we did it. Almost 2 hours in. UFC Qatar betting breakdown in the books. Shout out to my man 138 MMA for joining the show. Make sure you go follow him on all of his social medias. Check out his YouTube and show him some support. Tune into his breakdowns every single week. I got that tagged in the title and the description down below if you're on YouTube. Anything you want to shout out to the chat before we hop out of here?
No, just hey, I appreciate you having me on. This was great. Would love to do this again sometime. I enjoyed the heck out of this, and you've got a lively chat, man.
Yeah, it's one of the best chats in the game, man. One of the best chats in the game. Tuning in every single week. They bring some good insight, and it's always great to chop it up. But appreciate you. Good luck to everybody this Saturday. Make sure you don't miss out if you're planning on watching the fights. Early start time. Check out your time zone. I am the Central Time Zone, so it's 9 a.m. prelims for me. So if you're on the East Coast, 10 a.m. West Coast is 7 a.m. So make sure you get up if you're planning on watching. If not, then have a good Saturday. But we're out of here, boys. Peace.
Peace.